We have changed a mount raise to be a shopping mall, which is gonna give, let's say an example, that mount raise was gonna raise 30,000
per month.
But now, because of a shopping mall, a filling station will give 250,000 per month. Choppers or choppies will give 150. It takes a Motswana's time to digest and think outside
big.
The box and make something presentable and meaningful and make life movement.
Yeah. Let me then ask you this question. What is your assessment or view of the state of construction in Botswana?
The state itself right now, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We have got universities which we have built in the country, which enables us to do any type of road, any type of a tunnel. Going to Caliville right now to open a tunnel there, to have a road with a tunnel
in
there,
the middle of the hill.
In the middle of the hill, we have got that knowledge and expertise. Because when you go in SADC, as SADC people, more education comes from Botswana, comes from Zimbabwe, Zambia.
Yeah.
We have got that we're gifted actually.
This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Dumela, and a very big welcome to you. Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe here, your host once again of this wonderful program. We've been together now. This is our 6th year, and it always gets better and better with time. It's a little bit like wine. Podcasting gets better with time. Today I have yet another entrepreneur, but before I introduce him, let me inform you about my book. It's called Nuggets of Grit. It's available from Exclusive Books at the Airport Junction. It's also available from here on the first floor, Mogobe Plaza. If you are interested in the book, please reach out to us. It's only 350 pula, and if you move quickly, I'll autograph a copy for you. That having been said, please don't forget to strike the subscribe button. It's very, very important that we wrestle with these algorithms, and please do subscribe. My guest is Mr. Abraham Chisoro. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Good afternoon in Africa.
You look at me, yeah.
Sorry. Good afternoon, good viewers from all the world. It's afternoon in Africa because we're in Botswana, and our time here is the noon time of the world because of the global movement. My sincere greetings to everybody, and my name is Abraham Chisoro. The guest who's going to be talking to the Nuggets of Wisdom, Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdoms, which is going to be broadcast from Botswana, and we're Africans, and I'm here with him.
Tell me about your academic history, a little bit about your educational background, Mr. Chisoro.
Yeah, I wanted a question from the interviewer who's going to be talking to me, explaining myself and giving that gut to explore and express myself. My name is, once again, Abraham Chisoro. From African background, a deep African background, which is from part of registered countries in Zimbabwe, in Africa, like Zimbabwe. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm a Zimbabwean boy. I'm a Zimbabwean man. You can call me a boy. You can call me a man.
I prefer men.
But I'm not at a retiring stage. Yeah.
So just background in terms of where you were born and where you went to school, etc.
Oh yes. My first education, it was marked in Cambridge in Britain, which was a registered education qualification in Zimbabwe. I studied my primary school at a school. It's gonna be a long story, but let me cut it short. I studied my primary level at a school called Nyamajura Primary School in Manicaland in Zimbabwe. Manicaland, when you say Manicaland, those are the good climate environments in Africa. And Manicaland consists of when you call region 1 in Africa, region 2 tea, forestry. When I talk of forestry, I talk of botanical trees, not our indigenous. I've studied my primary level there, and my secondary level also in the same region, which is called the Manicaland region. I studied in Nyamajura from primary, standard 1 up to 7. In Botswana, you say standard. In Zimbabwe, you say grade.
Okay.
Because the grade is an international grading
system,
system, like in Britain. Because Zimbabwe, it was having the British, international
just
law enforcement.
Colonized by Britain.
Yes, colonized by Britain. Yes. So at the end of the day, I attended grades, not standards, like in Botswana. So it was standard 1 up to 7 at Nyamajura Primary. Then by that school, a lot happened. A lot happened. You know, you may think that you are at a primary school. The primary means the starting of the journey. When a kid is growing, there is a lot which wants to transpire or happen. They will give you a taste of saying that we're starting this kid like this. So I've started my interviews like what I'm sitting here, talking to people and express myself, whom am I and what is happening with me, from that school which I mentioned. So what happened is that school was so powerful and great school in Africa. As we were studying Cambridge, there was a lot which was happening, talking about respect, talking about your character, your well-being, your behavior. When you go to school in the morning, how do you dress, how do you talk to the elders. And one of the good years, without saying that I was a good student at the school, in that primary school, I was given a merit. It was a good, I'm just starting my intro.
That means like distinction.
Distinction, people, they were gathered there in that life of me, of that 7 years at my primary. People were gathered there, and my mother, she was present, and they were saying, best student in standard 7, because they were starting from the top, going back, like going back to standard 1 in Botswana, to grade 1 to me. They were saying, who is the best student in grade 7? They mentioned 6, 5, 4, and everybody was mentioned. And my name was not there. And my mother was asking herself, and she was just looking at me. And then there was a district officer. They call him in Zimbabwe the DHO. The district education, DEHO. The district education holding officer. So they say the kid with manners in this school is Abraham Chisoro.
So you didn't get a grade, but you got a manners award.
Yeah, manners award. What does manners means? Manners means that when you studied at my primary level, when you meet people, when you want to have manners, manners, they're meant with people whom you meet, whom you're approaching, whom you want to talk to. I'm still talking about my background. Don't forget that we are still on the way.
Still introduction,
Yes.
Shouldn't make it too long. I still have a lot to ask you.
Yes. So I had that merit. Then I moved on to tertiary education. And my mother, she was impressed on that one. I don't want to forget to say she was impressed. Then I finished my primary level when I was a bell ringer. A bell ringer was ringing the bell coming from a distance of 100, let's say 20 kilometers. And I was the bell ringer for the people for 5 kilometers, 15 kilometers. I attended and that was a gratitude. That was a good thing for me to achieve that. And the school loved me and they promoted me more, which I can't tell you more about it. I went to my tertiary education at St. Joseph's Rusape. There is a good school there. It's a Roman Catholic school, which I attended my Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, which started to groom me like what I am right now. My business, which I'm working on, my abilities.
So you were groomed by Catholics?
Not really, but it was a Catholic institute. Yeah, talking about the Catholic school.
Yes.
We have got the Anglican schools. We have got Catholic schools. We have got the Lutheran schools. So I was one of the Catholic schools.
So what qualification did you eventually get from school?
When I was at my tertiary education, it was like in Africa we have got stages of education. Countries they varies with the gain of education, but Zimbabwe it was one of the blessed nation to have much speedful, something like accelerating education, which I had. I started to do building work when I was at my Form 1, which was at St. Joseph's Rusape in Manicaland in Zimbabwe. There again a lot of education. Their teachings which they were giving me is the one which I'm even exercising today. As I'm leading my life, as I'm looking at the good goals of my life. Then from there, that was 94, 95, 96, 97, I finished my Cambridge. When I finished my Cambridge, I had a brother. He was an ex-soldier in Zimbabwe Force, in Zimbabwe Army. His name was Elias Chisoro. Then there was this community service link within the people who are grown up, who have finished their education in Zimbabwe, in Africa, to know where we belong, where did we get our independence, where are we going as a nation, what does it mean that you are a Zimbabwean?
Yes.
So I was taken to a level called the social unit service. That was from 97 when I finished my O levels in October. If I recall very well, that was the 16th of October.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally
you're giving us too much detail, Mr. Chisoro.
Yeah, I have to, so that people in the world knows me.
Yeah,
and where I come from and what I'm doing.
Okay.
You see. So, by then the brother wrote a letter because he was one of the, the top guys in the government, and knowing that my young brother must know what the Africa world is. I had to go and attend that after my O levels, after writing, before my results came. Yeah. So I was on a waiting list of saying, did I pass at school? Did I did this? So I was going for a social service work, which I did for 6 months. Which happened in Inyanga. There is a place called Inyanga. It's a Camp B and Camp 4 area. I had to go and attend.
Is that where you came across working with your hands or construction?
No. I was taught to be resilient and to respect also people and to see what my eyes are seeing and to make it meaningful. Then from there, it was a cool journey also. I worked in Zim for 2 years up to 98, 99, thereabouts, Yeah, then 2001 I was in Mozambique. I met a gentleman called Mr. Dog. We are in a dog section area where you work with dogs, being at this government work which I was given, and working as a dog handler, working with explosives like mines, you know, explosive mines. In Mozambique, when you talk of our next door country, Mozambique, there is a lot which has happened there. Yeah, so I was there, being a dog handler, working with the forces of Zim, because I was from the National Service.
Yeah.
And my language was good because I was speaking English like the way I'm speaking to you. I had to talk to other big bosses of mine which couldn't talk or couldn't speak English, to the Mozambican peoples to help them eradicating or removing the landmines. I met a guy called Dop.
Dop. While
Dop.
you were in Mozambique? Or
Well,
while you
well, I was in Mozambique, that was 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the very year reminds me losing my brother, the one who had given me this opportunity to work with these international people. He died in 99. It was bad. That Christmas time was not good because he passed away on the 22nd of December when we were facing the Christmas time. Then from there I met the guy. The man told me that Dop. He told me that, do you know that you are very young and what you are doing is not healthful. Asthma will be easily spreaded to you. You are at a very tender age. How many years do you have? I told him, I'm 19.
Yeah.
He said, 19 years. Sniffing the smell of a dog, grooming a dog. You know, when you say grooming a dog, you know, we don't say groom it like I'm giving it character, but you know, cleaning it, you know, doing feathers
I know what
out.
you mean by grooming. Yeah.
You know, dipping it, taking the waste of a dog, throwing it away, clean it, make it like what it is. And these dogs, remember, they were coming from Australia, from India, from Russia. They've got special treatment which they must be always being treated with.
Yeah.
They don't want noise.
They've been trained specially for
to
detect those landmines.
Yes, the mother comes, let's say an example, the mother comes from India, the other dog comes from Australia, and they've got a Dutch breed. And this breed, you must tell, you know, I remember one good words when they say Volgen. It was Dutch. Volgen say come. You know. So each dog has got its language and the way how you handle it. It's a 1 meter apart. You know, I have experienced that. So I met the guy. Then he said, stop doing this. I can see that you are a good builder. Where did you learn this? I told him.
What were you building at that time?
We're doing bridges.
Yeah.
You know, when you undo the land mines, the bombs around. You create a conducive environment. You create shops. You create schools. You create medication centers. You create offices, stores, whatever. Because that area is free for a development.
Yeah, once the landmines are clear.
Yes, once they're out. So those roads for the civil areas, civil movements, we're doing that.
Just for the sake of the viewers, this was shortly after the end of the war between Renamo and the other one. It was Renamo and
it was Renamo and Matsangaise.
Yeah.
But that one, it was far.
Yeah.
It was far.
But who had left the landmines there?
It's the Portuguese.
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 Yeah. Oh, it was after the War of Independence.
Yeah, because the Mozambique country is a big country. Yeah, it's not like a small country. The Portuguese, when they were leaving the country, they had to make sure that the Mozambique capability must be limited to have the country itself function. So they had to plant whatever they think that it prohibits them or killing them.
Yeah.
You know, instead of killing them with the guns facing them face to face, they thought of putting landmines all over, even in the buildings, in the clinics, in the hospitals, whatever they were thinking about. So they did that. But with me, it was at a later stage when everything was free. Even the government institutes and the government offices for Mozambique was operating nicely, but knowing that we have got other spaces which are left, which we need to clear the landmines.
Yes.
So I meet that guy there, Mr. Dope. He's not a guy, he's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meet him there. He told me that, Abraham, you're very young to do this. Like I'm repeating. Why don't you come to Botswana? Botswana is a developing country and with more potential of works like what you are doing. And I've loved that, and all the dangerouses which I was facing.
The dangers, yeah.
Yeah, the dangers which I was gonna face for, and what must bring me to be a man. Yeah, and also the neutral life movements. You know, when you're in government, you're limited much, but we don't say don't work in government.
Yeah.
It might be a starting point because we're Africans. And he told me that don't be limited, my boy. Move as much as you know Africa.
Since you're still young.
Yeah, me, I'm from Africa. I'm from South Africa. I'm a white man from South Africa. Though I'm a white man, but I'm from South Africa. Here's my number. We met, we exchanged numbers. Then 2001, I called the gentleman. Mr. Dope, it's Abraham from Zimbabwe. We met in Gorongosa. There was a
Gorongosa.
Place, there was a place called Gorongosa. We met there and we're together there. You have explained to me how you have seen me, and also I want to grow up through your wisdom, through your guidance as an elder to me, because I was seeking for good opportunities.
So he was going to be like your mentor?
Not really, but to direct, to expand, to move in the world, and to know what the world means, what Africanicity means. I had to follow him. And
I like that term, Africanicity.
Yeah. So I had to follow him and I had to call him. Also being busy reading my books. The people who met me first time in Botswana, they didn't know how I was brought to be here and meet them. They thought I'm just a natural guy who's coming and seeking employment. But I had a guy, that Dope, I came here, I called him, I had to get into the bus. By that time, when you're crossing these borders which we have been given with the white supremacists, sorry to say that.
Why are you sorry?
Yeah, they've given us the restrictions of crossing borders to the other African country. When you go by that border, you must show the money which you are going to be
using
spending there, spend there, where are you going to sleep, and what is going to happen to you. And I went to, there is a bank called Beverly in Zimbabwe. I went there. I got money there that was $1.2 thousand Zim dollar. Then I changed it. It was 600 pula. So when I came to the border, they said that you must show 100 pula to show that this is the money which is gonna lead you where you are going. Then you come back. Not of saying we are going to stay. Yes. So
they would keep that 100 pula?
No. You have to show them.
You just show her you have the ability to survive where you are going.
I've got the ability to survive because 100 pula by then, 2001. I used to buy a very nice Coke drink at 75 tebe. A bun, it was costing 30 tebe.
Those days?
Yes, 2001. Botswana, it was so good, marvelous. You're enjoying it when you've got 100 pula. You're one of the guys who is smart, smiling and having your food for the day. So for that, they were counting that with these days which you give you 14 or 15 days or 30 days, you can survive with 100 pula. Imagine a person was surviving with 100 pula for 30 days. So the regulations and the law enforcement of Botswana knew that if a person has got 100 pula coming to Botswana, he's gonna survive for 30.
Yeah, you
days.
mentioned that. Yes.
Yeah, but now I'm surviving with 500 pula per day. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Yeah.
The
So
economy has changed.
Yeah, it did.
The inflation has done its number on the money.
Yeah, then I was bound to. I was up to Botswana. I can't say I was bound to Botswana.
When did you arrive in Botswana, and what were you doing when you first arrived?
When I arrived, I met Mr. Dope. I called him. We're doing construction work at Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health next to Attorney General Chambers.
Isn't that where there's a white big building?
Yes. So there was a Greek
Were
guy.
you building that building?
I did the manholes for the bottom of it. When I say bottom of it and repeating, it's saying that it was a deep foundation for that building. And I did the battery boxes of those towers which you see on top going up.
You built them?
No, I've set the battery chambers for the areas which you see for communication. I've set the manual domestic use of sewage septic tanks at the bottom, because you can drain them at some point when there is no power, when there is no water reticulation.
Were you working with Mr. Dop?
I was working with Mr. Dop. Yes, I was working with Mr. Dop, and I met him, and I was so great to meet him, because that was my pendiviewer. That was my thinking outside the box, saying that I need to meet this man. He told me this. He promised me this. So we worked for 2 years. That was 2001, 2002. Here comes 2003. The guys told me that they are moving to Namibia. They're going to do
another project.
It was airport in Namibia, and also the Kasane airport. I thought myself, and I think around the circle, and I mixed up my mind and say, how can I move point A, B, C, D? Where am I gonna be belonging to? From Zimbabwe, I come to Botswana. I'm going to Namibia again. No. Again, I go to Zambia. This construction company needs me to move time and time and again. So I had faith with myself to say, let me humble myself. Let me be Abraham, like what God given the name Abraham. Let me sit down and see whatever opportunity which I can do through people whom I'm going to see every day in the morning when the sun rises, and talk to them, whom am I. I met a guy called Ontifile. Ontifile, he was, sorry, I'm talking about him, he's late now.
Yeah, he's passed on.
Yeah, and he gave me that assurance that, buddy, I'll be with you. I'll be with you. I can see what you do. You work, you do this. But since, you see, that time, it was chaotic. It was harsh to the foreigners in Botswana, because the government of Botswana was exercising the immigrants and the immigration.
You mean they were enforcing the immigration law?
Yes.
And deporting people?
Yeah, deporting people, and I was not having permits staying in Botswana, and being one of the people who was supposed to be working in Botswana. And this relationship was like a brother and a young brother. Yeah, he was protecting me by all ends, not to make me being taken back to Zimbabwe. And this guy was so kind to me. Yeah, and we have...
I knew him.
We have because, you know...
My relative.
When I talk to you viewers, it's a lot to explain, because what he's saying is one of his brother's son. And he's the one who introduced me to Mr. Mogobe. So what happened is, on that journey, the guy... We have been working together, starting the building industry again, continuing. not starting as such, but continuing, but at a low standard of level, and showing myself my abilities. What can I do? What I only showed to the people is my energetic, my ambitions. I remember I was staying at a house where we were building, because that was a new house for me. Before, I was staying at a tin house, because I was new in Botswana. 2001, 2003, I met this guy. I was doing a project when my guys were going to Namibia. Now, with this new life which I'm experiencing, it happened that I was staying in a new house. Whatever happened for me to stay in that new house, it happened. People that loved me. I was working hard there, being a laborer, changing my life, transforming my life from what I was, reducing myself, humble, listening to the people. Whom am I gonna face to give me light along the tunnel? You see, so that was 2003. I met a gentleman called Mr. Mogobe. And this gentleman, he was so kind and good to me. Through Ontifile and his wife, Miss Mogobe's wife, were building that house, and the house was finished.
You're referring to my first to the wife, the house I was building for my wife. In,
in block 6.
In block 6,
in block 6. And that place, it was so nice to me. The environment nearest to the town, there is Mogoritsani there, that's a village, but block 6 part of Gaborone, and I was feeling myself that I'm in Gaborone, now I'm good, I'm in Gabs, gates are locked, comparing to the previous where I was staying for the past 2 years before 2003. And this gentleman, Mr. Mobi, have treated me very, very, very well. I remember this gentleman who met us to meet, we part ways with him because of the life consequences and the life being human beings. He had to go somewhere on Tifile. I was brought up now, being left behind with Mr. Lerumo Mogobe and his wife. Nkele Mogobe, the other name, you people don't know about it. When we're growing now in business, because what they've given me, the lady told me that, Abraham, my husband is gonna be in the property business, and he's gonna build. If you've got the anxiety, if you've got the wish of saying that I want to build the nation, I want to be a builder, hang around this guy. And I want him to do papers for you. And I said, I had to take a day and a night to think about it. Because my ambitions were were thinking that I must go overseas to go and do more things in overseas, Canada, Britain, America. But I said, no, let me take this word. And when I was finishing that project of the house, the remainder of the payment which I was supposed to be given, they said, we're going to do papers for you. We're going to give you papers to be legal in Botswana.
In the country,
and you work and being freedom, have freedom movements. No one is going to bother you. I said, thank you, God. I had a good, peaceful sleep that night. And that one, we overcome it. The man did papers for me. I started to work. And the man told me that, my boy.
The man you are referring to me?
Yeah, Mr. Mobi. Yeah, Mr. Mobi. He told me that, you know what, young man? Here we go. I want to start a project in Kwapiri. I'm doing warehouses. I'm a business entrepreneur. I'm doing property. And that's my wish and my goal, to have more property in this country and in the world, not only prohibited to be in Botswana. Africa is a world, going to where mankind lives. So we started the journey We started in Mkwapiri. The plot number is called 1114. It's in Mkwapiri there.
1125, I think.
Sorry, 1125. 1125. We did 2 warehouses with help of the gentleman called Muchema is late also. He was the architect. We had a successful project. We finished that project. Then we started going to different direction. Now, with this, given the opportunity of showing myself, I was working so hard to impress this gentleman that in need and indeed, I want to be among you guys to show my expertise and to show my enthusiasm and whom am I and my character. It was a pause of doing property by then. We changed the environment because Mr. Mobi's wife wanted to venture into another business of cleaning service company. There is a well-established company. Everybody knows it in town. Here in Botswana, here in Gaborone. It's called Clean Cities and Towns. She told me that, Abraham, you love building, I can see. But why don't you start somewhere with me so that we pick up the ladder, we go up the ladder together. Then I had to put my mind again on a second opinion that these people, they were treating me good and I was comfortable where I was by that time. And my privileges were going on. And I had to say, no, let me follow the suit. Yeah, I had to fall in love with driving a truck for garbage, cleaning, malls like Super Safe shops, going to different entities, Standard Chartered, the main mall branch.
You used to clean there.
Yeah, and that time, it reminds me when I was waking up at 2 a.m. because the people at Standard, they were coming at 6 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning. And they must see that basement is clean. When they come in driving their cars, they come in numbers. About 28 or 30 people working there. So immediately in the morning, let's say when the day starts, everything must be smart, clean and shiny. So I used to wake up at 2 a.m. Telling the guys whom I was associated with, working with, whom I was given, there were about 3-4 guys who were assisting me to clean the garbage, Super Safe, Mokotitani, BDF, Broadists, going
Standard
to
Chartered.
Standard Chartered. There is this station one, which was Mr. Veg. So for you to clean up, you can't clean during the day. People, when they come up being clean in the morning, when their clothes are clean, presentable, they want to see in a very conducive environment, clean environment.
Yes.
So I used to wake up at 2, going there, doing that work. In the morning around 7 o'clock, I must go out before the entry of these people come in. Then they find everything smart. And this was my, one of the things which I said, which I learned before when I was at the social service, because we were waking up early at 3 a.m.
Which you learned when you were in Zim, yeah.
When I was in Zim. Then furthermore, we moved on. We went to Kanye. Mr. Mogobe give me...
Before you talk about Kanye, tell us how you acquired the skills to build. How you became a good builder.
How I became a good builder is from the theoretical part of being at school, being taught how, basic bond solving, what is a brick, what is a trowel, because those are the two things which you join together to build up a wall.
Yes.
It's a brick and a trowel and mortar. How to mix it, that's how I was. I learned it. I learned it before.
Yeah.
So this thing, when I'm explaining right now, it was already in me. It was beatering me inside me that, Abraham, why don't you wake up? Why don't you do this? Why don't you show the nation that you can put up something,
Put up a structure.
put up a structure which people can see with their naked eyes that you can put up such a big thing. So on the long way going, it was Kanye project for Mr. Mogobe, the house in Mutukanelo Ward. We came back, we did the filling station. No, sorry, the mall in Khabane Junction, which is also...
Was that the most difficult project you've ever done so far?
Not really. Not really. It was, we were climbing the ladder by then. Yeah. From that mall, we experienced a very, 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 very good and, we finished our ladder that time. Yeah, we had to go climb the max. Yeah, we went to CBD and CBD, it was...
what would you say was the biggest challenge with the building a mall?
Building a mall, there was no much challenges. Because... but only one thing which happened with the association which I had with my bosses, it was an issue of putting the right building at the right spot. Yes. That was a challenge because the thinking of my bosses were saying that we're going to go a double story, we're going to do this, which was not going to make money to what the person who was building the building meant.
Or intended.
Yeah. Because he was looking at having offices as a double story. You know how us we are. We think when you go double story, we are good. People, they see that this guy is doing things and all this. But it doesn't suit the environment which is there. There was a certain guy, a certain man who came to us, who was new by the developer. He called the man, and the man came and he said, guys, what are you doing here? Are you building offices in Khabane village? Then we said, yes, that's what we are doing. And we're so keen and energetic to say that this is what we are doing. Why are you saying we are failing here? And the guy told us that, no, this is not the right thing to do. Khabane is a village. You must have a supermarket. Bear all these things which you have done. We have spent close to 245,000 pula. By then, that was a good money to...
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, just to bury that. When I say bury, just to clear it off. To say, let's forget about this money. It was all about the stab columns which were done for the columns. It was all about the brickwork which was done for the foundations. We had to change it to make it a supermarket to suit the environment there, to make sure that people, the behaving
offices would not have attracted good tenants,
at all. And it was not going to be a busy junction like what it is right now, because people, they love coming there, seeing people buying groceries.
You're referring to the Khabane Junction Mall.
Indeed, I'm referring to Khabane Junction Mall. So that's what we did there. Then from there we moved on. That was 2009. Then I was given a privilege to show more of myself. What can I do? What can I show to people? Shall I please people? Shall I show that I'm a builder? Then I built that one. From there, then it came a very largest building, which dominates a lot of expertise, a lot of attention, a lot of character. How do you behave? What must be done? How do you handle situations? Which I was taught by Mr. Mogobe to behave in a business way, in a calm attitude of approach. So we started a journey of building a 6-story building, plot number 54367 in the CBD, where I'm sitting right now and talking to you. And it was not an easy journey. It was a journey of putting thoughts together, believe in someone and have faith, and also giving yourself more time when it comes to family members. It's good for us because we're living. I must meet my family, but there is time that gives the needs what it needs. You see, so when I say needs, what it needs is to say paying attention. So paying attention is something which somebody must achieve and must have in his own blood, because I'm now 43 years. You need your girlfriend aside, you need your
to
kids.
settle down,
Yeah, you see. So they say, come here, let's be together. Today it's Sunday. Hey, tomorrow is Monday. You have not been here for the whole week. Where are you going? But building yourself, it doesn't need Saturday and Sunday.
So you had to sacrifice a lot of time, family time.
Not family time.
Yeah, what
It will always come.
weekend time, let's say that.
Yeah, but to me, yes, weekend time and holiday times. I had to sacrifice it because of the nature of the approach which we're doing. We're doing it in a way that when we're building this building, it's not a strenuous ability. It's not a forceful thing. It's something which we relax and do, but in a quality manner. And still now it's sheltering people. It's giving business to people. Tenants are in the building. They are doing their business. They're boosting the economy of Botswana. They're here. They're making their lives through our engagement of having good character and hardworking, but in a simple way. So we did that building. That was my first building to build in Botswana.
First big building.
First big building to build in Botswana. And it's a 6-story building, which is Mogobe Plaza. Then through the faith of Mr. Mogobe giving me that I can see that you can do this. Let's move on. We had to move on doing plant works which we did. There is warehouses which we are finishing right now. Yeah, which is a multi-million project. And furthermore, with the addition of more practicing in the construction industry, we have started doing the
where you impressed me, you and your team, is when you built the filling station, because you had not previously, I had never previously seen you build a filling station. What did it take to undertake such a project?
Filling station mainly in the building industry, as you take it as a serious thing. But to me, it's not much serious because it's civils. Because you'll be dealing with the land. Yeah, because the filling station itself, it's subject to the tanks, the pumps, and the general flow of the cars, parking, driving, and all this. It's not like where we are seated right now, this big building. It's consisting of one level. So it's all about the civils. When I say civils, controlling of the driving of the cars, where the tanks are going to be situated. That one, it came to me to be so easy because I had a gentleman called Makiwa. He was a surveyor, and he taught me that Abraham, civil works is the starting point of any building which you want to build. So if you fail this, you're not going to make it in future. You're not going to make anything in future. So let me show you how to put levels, how to drain water, how to direct traffic, how to put the tanks where they are supposed to be, with the regulations of saying this is the fire protection area, this is the parking area, this is the high dispensable area of the big trucks. Then you must avoid the collision of the traffic.
Collision.
The collision of the traffic. You're talking of small vehicles and the big vehicles. So I had to listen to him. We went there, we spent 2-3 days Off he went. And I was having a machine there, starting now picking the levels of the inlets of the filling station, the pits for the tanks. It was so easy doing that one. And it took us...
because you had experts helping you.
I had experts and I had to listen. And I had to humble myself. For you to come up to be a successful man.
Successful builder.
Yes, or builder. But with general of saying successful man. Humble yourself and listen. No matter how big you are. There are things in the world which you don't know. Which are known by a 3-year-old child. Which can tell you that you are going there. There's a lion there where you are going there. And but you, with all this gathering which you have done for the past 60 years, a young boy or a young girl is telling you that where you are going there is a lion there, don't go there. So you must humble yourself and listen. Not literally saying that there will be some lions in your way, but there is that character which I've mastered to say that humble yourself, no matter which stage you are, as long as you are living in the world, as long as you are a human being. Just exercise that conscience that a human being can learn me, can teach me more than what I know. Yes. So filling station was easy, Ramopi, to do that, because I was having some expertise which I had to listen and learn from them. Until today, I can tell you, no one tells me how to survive island. No one can tell me what is a trigonometrical beacon, because I had it at school, but practically this guy told me that...
What is a trigonometrical beacon?
A trigonometrical beacon is a beacon which is... it's a peg. It's a point where the geographers, talking about the geographical environment which we are having in our society, in our locations, they will put the highest point of a hill or of a mountain. You know, in Zim we talk of mountains. Here we talk of hills. There are no mountains in Botswana. There are hills. So the highest hill on a situated point, on a situated location, they put a trigonometrical beacon. And this beacon measures from the main beacon. The main beacon is the highest point of the country. The more you go lower, the second lower point is the second trigonometrical beacon. Let's say you are from, for an instance, from, let's give Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Namibia. Our highest point here, either is South Africa or Zimbabwe, because they've got a lot of mountains. So this is the areas which are above the sea, the highest points above the sea level. So they start from there, and they demarcate our levels from the highest point above the sea level. So they go lower, 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 lower. So, but Botswana is higher than Zim. So they started in Botswana. So the highest point going to Zimbabwe, it's in Botswana. That's why we experience less rains in Botswana, because we are close to the sun. Our point is very high too.
No, I didn't know that.
It's next to the sun, and our plants, they can't have that turgid condition. The weight, weight of the moisture itself. So the trigonometrical beacon is one of the points which is higher in a community or in an area. Then from there they transfer what you call the fig points.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about the Mogobe Plaza project, especially the whole challenges around dealing with a big hole where you are creating enough space to cater for underground parking, and also to ensure that there's enough support for a large structure. What was the engineering challenges there?
The challenges were severe. To me, the challenges were so many than the prosperity side. When a man is thinking of doing something, he will think of the light and the good part only. Every man, you see, it's few in 100 who thinks about what about if I face this? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
The nitty-gritties. But few people think about the nitty-gritties of saying, if I do this, what is my challenge? What is it? What am I gonna face? So the challenges were severe. When we started to do the groundbreaking in the Mogobe Incorporation, doing the Mogobe Plaza, forces from outsiders, we had some contractors around us, because that time the government was giving a push to the developer that failing to do this development within given days and given time, they will reimpose repossess the land. They're gonna take the land. They're gonna take it back, and it was a push for the developer to do that. So we break the ground with our resources which we had, and with our plan which we had, which was not user friendly to the the project management. So just imagine when you are facing something and it's not good to the management which you are gonna work with. Talking about the architects, the engineers, and all this, they were not happy that I was one of the guys who was gonna build the building without an experience of previous project being erected like that, and I was supposed to execute that. So they were giving their doubts in many ways, which happened that the designer himself,
They were a bit skeptical.
not really, but saying we can't.
Yeah.
Not skeptical. If they were skeptical, they were supposed to be within there, but they were saying that we are abandoning this, we're leaving this.
The architects, the engineers.
They were off, they go. They say off us we are going, because there is a contractor like this who's gonna build this building. And giving that faith and the good implementation which I had from the owner, we had to carry on with the works. We had to start the drawings. What does this drawing means? It means we need to dig down, and we dig deeper, because the government and the banks, they've given us money to start digging the pit, because the main thing was to have funds to do that, which we put in our minds together, and we did that. We did the pit. But with that, a lot in construction happens. There were incidents, challenges like trucks failing inside the pit. Doing this, it's a constructional exercise which happens time to time. Then we overcome that thing of the pit. We managed to take out the whole soil which was supposed to be out in the pit, to have the basement in place. When we were building, people were laughing to us.
Laughing at you.
To us, it was not only me. It was the developer, it was the contractor, it was, even the people around, the workers themselves. Because on our next door, it was Maren Roberts. On our northern side, eastern side, it was Maren Roberts. Because FNB, it's Maren Roberts. The ITA was Maren Roberts, and they were Chinese on the other side. So they were using, new methods of speeding up the exercise of construction. Say we have got a project which wants to be done in 2 years. It must be done in 2 years. That's what they were doing. But us, since we are Botswana, since we are Africans, we have taken that opportunity which we have given and granted with our government, that we are the belongings of this land.
The owners.
Yeah, the owners of this land. We took time to show ourselves that we are home. We can't be pushed. And
was it because we're using somewhat old methods for construction?
Well, no matter new or old methods, we were doing what suits us, to do exactly what doesn't hang ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, when the banks, they want their money, you don't have any way of running away. So you cut your coat according to your cloth. You don't run speed which overspeeds you. When you are in your country, when you are an African, you exercise the same word which I'm repeating, Africanicity. You come back to your senses, you say that I must be free in our land, like what we are doing. We need more things to come in future, in free and good movement, without any forceful and without any pressure, which will be absorbing from any end. That means that we are developing our land.
Let me then ask you this question: what is your assessment or view of the state of construction in Botswana?
The state itself right now, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We have got universities which we have built in the country, which enables us to do any type of road, any type of a tunnel. Going to Caliview right now to open a tunnel there, to have a road with a tunnel
In
there
the middle of the hill.
in the middle of the hill. We have got that knowledge and expertise. Because when you go in SADC, as SADC people, more education comes from Botswana, comes from Zimbabwe, you know, Zambia. We have got that we're gifted, actually. We are gifted, we are not limited. We have got bright lawyers from Zimbabwe, we have got bright constructors from Zimbabwe, we have got bright surveyors from Kenya, from Angola,
from everywhere.
Yeah, but with that limitations of us being, sorry to say that, being Africans, because we think when we hear the second information, that's the truth. The first one which comes in your mind and clicks in you that I have to do this, you forget about it. You go and seek for the
You want external validation.
You want external validation. And the external validation gives you a disadvantage. Because the moment which you go for an external validation, he or she whom you are calling has got a benefit on what you are asking him or she. They have already seen that, they are lacking in this, but they can do it.
So we tend to undermine ourselves.
We undermine ourselves. Talking about the Zambezi Bridge, there are some civil engineers which have been trained to do this in Botswana, in South Africa, but we choose to go and call the Chinese
or the Koreans or the
Koreans. When they come here, they use methods. You see, everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. There are some methods which are used in construction to do a lot of things. When people are doing our roads, when they are coming from China, they know what time are they going to be in Africa. Are they going to be here in Africa for 20 years or 15 years? So what's their race? They are racing with time. And us, when you are doing our own work, with clear supervision, with right people which are vetted, with the principles and the regulations of the governments, when we take that time, if we throw that attitude of saying, hake ko Mozambique, harka lata butu jonejo, we're going to be very, very, very far and exercise what ko Mozambique ko dirwang, the engineers South Africa dirang, what do we do with farming here, what do we do? So normally we call foreign based companies and they employ the same people which are here. One engineer comes from China and he will interpret the drawings to Botswana engineer, the Zimbabwean engineer, and the guy who is wearing a helmet the whole day when it starts is the Zambian guy and the Zimbabwean guy and the Botswana guy. And the guys who are
They're the ones actually doing the work.
Who are doing the work. Why don't you promote your own system? What's your system? It's your Africanicity. So at the end of the day,
I heard that word Africanicity being used in the ABSA commercials. ABSA, when they're promoting themselves, they talk of Africanicity.
yes. When it comes to the issue of money, we are already moneyed. We are rich Africans. So you see, I was looking at something in the morning in the Facebook. Steel is advertised from China to Africa. In Zimbabwe, we've got Great Dyke, the stone which has got all the resources of the world
to make steel.
We've got iron ore, nickel, chrome, asbestos, magnesium, zinc, gold, copper, diamonds, platinum, even the lithium. It's there.
So Africa has all that it needs.
Africa has got all that it needs. It needs people who are switched on. You see, there is some, it's sort of a phrase which Mr. Mandela said, and I'm gonna say it when I'm finishing this conversation with you. He said, when fools are talking, if clever people keeps quiet, the fools will keep multiplying.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So if you are clever, when you talk something which is sense, the fools will slow down. So us, I'm not saying that we are foolish, but we need to check both sides of the coins and see where we are, what are we doing, what is happening. So in the construction industry in Botswana, we are limiting ourselves. We can do these roads ourselves. We can do this city. You see, one of my impressions when I look at Gaborone as somebody who is in the building industry. You see, I looked at Mlapo Cross, the way how Mlapo Cross has been developed. To me, it's not enough. You see, from Bonington side, that river still floods that road. Cars doesn't go through that
No, they don't.
bridge. When it's raining, like we're talking of
Serious rain.
serious rains. The flyover was supposed to start from Block 6 robots there up to, let's say, Hansi Beef robots there. And that area was supposed to be designated just for the rains to be in there. And we were supposed to having nice seats. But because of us, we limit our developments and our thinking, that we believe in a white man's thinking or the Indian's man thinking.
Yeah.
We don't believe on ourselves.
Yeah, let me go further to ask you this, that as a constructor, what would you say are the buildings or the achievements that you are most proud of in terms of what you've been able to do?
You see, the achievements which I've been enabled to do is to go out to people, talk to people, rich people, less privileged people, tell them with what they're holding, especially with the title deeds and the land which are holding. I always tell them that, you see, at a particular area, it depends, is there any road, any service? Because when you're looking at people, what they're having, according to my side of industry, I'll be looking at the land which they're having. This land which you're having, is it next to the road? Is it next to the town? How can this land be utilized and used and benefit you as an African? What can it bring to you tomorrow to have the value of yourself being standing on top of this land? So I look at the environment. I look at the what the government itself is giving to this such type of land. Can we convert this to be a farm, a meaningful farm? Can we convert this to be a building mall, a shopping mall? Can we convert this to be a school or what? So those are my areas mostly.
Yeah, so what have you achieved there? That's the question.
I've achieved a lot with that. Right now, as we speak, just generally with the buildings which we are having, which we have done, we are trying to change and to make them sound, to ablaze them,
Upgrade them?
upgrading them and ablaze them,
Yeah.
to shine them out.
Yeah.
Like right now, this building, we've got a new restaurant which we're sitting. With the new restaurant, it comes up with a lot of thinking and
Yeah, because you were instrumental in putting it together.
and design it, the Pond restaurant, and to see what Botswana needs, what are they looking at, being home, what does it mean? Being home, it's bad sometimes to other people that you go and have your refreshing time, you go and refresh at the CBD, you sit down, you have your nice drink, your nice eat, you go home, a nice night, tomorrow morning you go to work. So we have got a new restaurant which we have done. We have got new buildings which have bring to alive. In Palape, not Palape, Mahalape. I was given an opportunity. There is one of the entrepreneurs was in Mahalape. The company is called Butuka Hardways. This person, these people, they have approached me. They told me that you can build, you can design and build, because I was posting in the Facebook. Then I said yes. So come and see my land, which is just next to the road going to Shosho in Mahalape. And I went there on a good weekend. That was on a Sunday. I had to take my boy. I've got a small son. We drove there. We went there. We met the old lady. And when we met the old lady, I've seen that she has got 2 hectares of land adjacent to the road, very close to the road. And she was thinking of having more residential on that area. I told her that, Mama, this is not the right way of doing things. Because of this location where you are, why don't you think of having a mall, having a filling station, having spa, talking about the shops which we are used to have here in Botswana.
A shopping mall.
Yeah, spas, falana, choppies, talking about these other shops, Payless, and Chinese shops around. And people that always need leisure and their time to be free time. A nightclub on top, restaurant at the bottom, then a service station, a filling station for people to fill up their fuel. She said, can you do that? I said, I can do that. How are you going to do that? I told her that I'm going to find a physical planner to come and restructure this land and ask the authorities and write letters to them to approach them with this application that you want to do a shopping mall, which needs somebody to be having very, very, very strong attitude, and also when it comes to pocket-wise of financial, you must be strong. Luckily, I met a old lady who is financial supported background. We changed that land from residential to commercial through the regulations which the authorities inquires. We did that. We went to land board. We have applied. Then they give us the go ahead of doing our planning. We did the planning. So after doing the planning, it always comes to the EIA, which are the stages that you usually
Those who don't know, environmental impact assessment study.
Indeed, to show that when we are disturbing the land, when you are putting the filling station and doing our foundations, are there no mabitla, kaswana, no graves? People are they happy to have that mall there. So it's an exercise which is on the verge of finishing it, which took starting from, this is 2024. It started 2023 February.
Takes time.
Yeah, when we did the drawings, submitting them, the first submission, always comments comes from the fiscal planning and the board of the council. Correct this, we don't need this, the movement of the vehicles and all this. So we have been battling with that last year. Then it came that time that council, they said, we are satisfied with what we're doing. But go to EIA. The people who are going to give you the grant to say, dig here, or people, they love it or not.
Yeah.
So in 3 days back, when we were sitting here, as we were sitting, the EIA guy, one of, we work with different entities.
Yes.
Yeah, to construct is not being a one-man band.
It's never a one-man band.
Yeah, it's all about having the technical people. So we have overcome it. We're almost on the verge. We're on the EIA process. We have changed a mount raise to be a shopping mall, which is going to give, let's say an example, that mount raise was going to raise 30,000
per month.
But now, because of a shopping mall, a filling station will give 250,000 per month. Choppers or choppies will give 150. It takes a Motswana's time to digest and think outside
big.
The box and make something presentable and meaningful and make life move, than to say the government is not giving me this and not this.
All right.
Yes.
So currently, what big projects are you tackling? Any challenging projects at the moment?
You see, if I say projects which I'm tackling right now, some they're on the verge of finishing them.
You've talked about the warehouses.
The warehouses for Mogobe Inc., they're almost done.
The Mogobe Industrial Park.
We're almost finishing them. We're doing the tiling for the ablution blocks, finishings. We're working on finishing. But there are more to come, which I think, because these ones already in my diaries, the year is finished, and I'm saying this one I'm done with it, because it's me who's doing it.
Yeah.
But to a layman who say, why is he saying that it's done? We are designing one of the good building right in the center of the town, and a well demandable and a well marketable area, which is the next to the UB. Why I'm saying this, the well marketable area and the well significant area is because it's close to the university. Yeah, we are building 78 houses, which we are going to build.
You mean 78 units? Yeah.
Units, yes.
In one complex.
See, it's about a 6-story building, which consists of 2 floors. It's 2 beds, TV room, lounge consists of a lounge, toilet, bathroom, a balcony, then beds, like what I said, 2 beds.
Yeah.
Then the other one is 1 bed. So it's gonna be a very, very interesting project for the next 3 or 4 years to come.
Yeah.
Since we don't have a pressure to anyone who we are in Africa, do our work as
I don't know.
as we do in Botswana.
Yeah.
So it's something interesting to see
Yeah.
a Motswana man or an African being himself in his land.
Yeah, developing at his own pace.
At his own pace, you see. So that's one of the project we are doing. We've got Ruele Farm. Ruele Farm, it's a project which is going to be consist of, as a beginning, we've started to design 4 warehouses, which are 50 by 45. which might gives you 94, 95 square meters. Not 94, 95 square meters, but there's 9,400 square meters each. So they're divided into 4. There are 3 of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there is a depth of filling station where we're gonna have a surface storage filling station. Those are our dreams for the future projects, and that's where we are putting our mind to think that we have to accelerate our lives and push our lives on this direction.
Having been in Botswana in the construction industry here, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome to get to the levels that you are in?
I've being out of where you belong, but I can't say I'm out of where I belong. I'm in Africa, but because people, they differ, they think differently. When I was out from speaking Shona, because I'm a Shona speaker, when
I grew up as Johnny.
So when you move from point A to B, like coming from Zim to Botswana, you meet Botswana, and we know we are people. We must be very, very honest. Our brought up is different. Our
upbringing,
our bringing up is different. When it comes to, hardworking and pushing, let's say I'm pouring this deck where we're putting our foot on. It doesn't need lunch and break time and the challenges tsene ke di bona ha ke tsena mo Botswana ha re simola re bua gore ha re bereke bora to bo to nyame ya mi musta ichaile no go re tloe ke itlogela
mitro isiwe
le mister ya no dikolo tse di tsamae wa go se go tshela ha te ka se khoa re sontse go hetsa sengwe le sengwe gore go kopane ka gore ke slab a re mister ha ile sengwe ntwele gona nana nele madi. So those are the challenges which we faced.
So how do you overcome that situation?
By overcoming that situation, you need to have a planned thing which you always foresee. Those things you need to predict. You need to come up with a prediction of saying, what about this guy when he says this to me? What about this happens to me like this? What must I do? What about if it's gonna rain? So when these guys come to a push of saying, I don't want to do this.
But is there any substance to some of the accusations we get that Botswana are lazy? Is there any truth to that?
To me, it was true before. But these days, which we are busy with, after Corona, after the issue of the Corona, I've seen most of Botswana coming jacked up and turn their minds, think the opposite direction of what they were having before, of saying we are comfortable and we are, this is all what we have. So nowadays I've seen most of Botswana, they're going to the farms, after Corona. I remember ne go sena ditraka tse di tswang go South Africa di tsa tsene mo Botswana, ne go sena dijo tse di tsenang ora gore tapole ne isiyo the tamati ne isiyo gora gore ya no Botswana ba bona gore nyame ya re tsuse maro ga re se molle go bereka
a re take
ha ona le senyo
ga ona khomo ya boroko
so nowadays I've seen them, even the guys whom I'm working with in the industry, they're happy to make more hours and coming during the weekends. They can even literally call me around 9 o'clock Saturday. Where are you? Are we not working? Are we not doing this?
So it means
so it's so sweet, and
so it's a positive aspect to COVID.
Yes.
Now let me ask you about your heroes and sheroes. Who do you look up to? Who has impacted you positively that you say this person has influenced me,
You know,
or people?
first and foremost, I've met people who have given me the opportunity to sit where I am right now and to express myself to the world or to the people. Whom am I, and to be added as an individual in the world.
As a successful entrepreneur.
Indeed, yeah. You see, the guy, his name is very famous in Gaborone, and he's a good man to me. And he's my mentor, and he's a humble man, which God has given him that God to teach a lot of people, not only me, but a lot of people has come along his way. There are some law practitioners, people who are practicing law in Botswana, and they've been given that way out from him. No matter, people, they describe people in different ways, but the anthem which he sings, I believe it's the national anthem. Yeah, because his name is Mr. Lerumo Mogobe.
Don't make me blush, please.
So he's a man who has mentored me much. For me to be, in my profiles, I write resilient. Yeah, he's the one who have taught me to be a man. Yeah, from boys to men.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and there is a guy called Chilumbo. He's one of my brothers also. When it not in business, when you are not in business, partly business and family, is one of the guys who said, you know what, if you want to succeed, do this. This is one of the men. And my father, yeah, my father is an old man. He's 94, and he always tell me that, my son, humble yourself, but work hard.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Now, looking ahead 10, 20 years, maybe a couple of decades down the line, what future do you see for Chilambos and for Abraham Chisoro?
With the state which I am experiencing for now, with the God willing, because normally we put the prayer ahead of us. No matter we are educated and we have got all the doors to be opened in our worlds, but the only thing which we have to bow down and respect is God. So I pray much to just maintain my character, my behavior, my thinking, and my hard working with the same people whom I'm working with. Yeah,
so you intend to continue to partner with our company into the next couple of decades?
Indeed.
To cover more projects.
Because it's a company with distinction. Yeah, the company, you see, we started, when I look at Mogobe Inc., it started from Extension 10. It's a small office entity. It was buying more properties around the country, not only in Gaborone, but talking of Maung, Francistown, wherever in the country. The company is not limited.
Without say Kanye and
and the MD,
Muchudi and so on.
And the MD himself is somebody who have got eyes on the ball. Yeah, you see, when you're in the pitch, when somebody hits the ball, someone will look at the guy who's running next to him, but he puts the eyes on the ball. He's gonna fall.
Okay, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, time for you to hit me with a question, sir. Do you have a question?
Yeah. When I wanted to, to ask something on you, don't say that. Or if I'm asking, don't say, why is he saying this? Yeah. How do you see foreigners in Botswana? When I say foreigners in Botswana, I'm not talking of foreigners which are bringing business. Money, not money on the table. I'm talking of foreigners which are adding values, which are adding value, to Botswana in economic, hard working, like Zimbabweans. How do you see Zimbabweans in Botswana? How do you see Kenyans in Botswana? How do you see Zambia in Botswana? Because us Zimbabweans, Malawans, Kenyans, Angolans, We come here without money, unlike the Persians, unlike the Americans, unlike the Chinese. South Africans, some of them, they bring money here. How can you explain them to be welcomed in Botswana? And Botswana gore ba amogele gore re na le batho ba ke batho ba bangwe ba ka kgonang go ira silo mo go rona ebile ba kgona go tshosa itsholetso e le ha tsela rona ka ditsela tse di ntseng jang wena o ba bona ka tsela e ntseng jang?
Yeah. It's a very good question. We have a saying in Setswana which says that letlhako le lesha la gella mo go le legologolo. I want to broaden that saying, which crude translation means for something that is new is built upon something that is old. So I'm stretching this saying to say, if I look back at my career, the people who've had some of the biggest impact, for my instance, when I look at some of my favorite teachers, even at primary school, Mr. Chunguru, I think that's his name, or Hinguru, and then you look at some of my teachers at secondary school, Mr. Principal, Mr. Beteroti, and then some people from Zimbabwe who taught me there. And then I go to university, the man who had the biggest impact in my career, and I talk about him in the book, Professor Peter Takirambude from Makerere University in Uganda. You'll see that there's a lot of external input and positive input from various Africans from various places. And then you look at Zimbabweans, how they've impacted our economy positively. Somebody like yourself, how we've been able to partner and grow my business. And then you look at the overall economy and see how we've been impacted positively by people from outside. And then you look at it more broadly and look at countries like America and see how the acceptance of foreigners, like people like Elon Musk from South Africa, the richest man in the world at the moment. And you go everywhere around the world and you go from the general to the particular. You see that the way the world works is that for an economy to thrive, it requires external input for it to thrive. So, and you even go to Dubai. Dubai, the majority of people I'm told who are there are foreigners. And they occupy different positions of authority. So it seems to me quite self-evident that we need to retain our culture, continue to respect our cultural mores and norms and keep them intact, but at the same time accept the input of those who are from outside. And all the people that I've worked with who have made a difference, they've been from within and without. So I do not make a big distinction from where the person comes from. I look at more of the character of that person.
Those are the eyes on the ball.
Yes. The character of that person. I mean, the words of Martin Luther King always ring at the back of my ear. My 4 little children will one day be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That's what I believe.
Wow,
the content
marvelous.
of that character. That saying influences the way I look at it. And I think if you look back at Botswana culturally, that's why we've always looked at it. Because I'll give you an example. In Kanye, there's a whole area which is characterized by white people or white Boers who were sort of economic refugees or refugees
from the countries,
from the Transvaal.
Yeah.
They are still now part of an economy, part of the country, part of the culture, the community.
Been welcomed.
They've been the Stechlings, Van der something, Van der Merwe.
They're adding value.
They are adding value. So we don't look at where you come from. We look at who you are and how you can contribute.
And what are you doing?
Yes. And that's the same philosophy that I have. And I think Botswana, anybody from Zimbabwe can confirm that. That's how Botswana look at people from
what
outside.
there are some regulations and implementations which has been given, among our borders.
Mm.
How can you help the this issue of having the immigration to be welcomed in Botswana and to be given the comfortability of saying, let's treat them?
I think we just don't get into the weeds now because you've asked your question, but I can simply say that the thinking of for instance, like in Namibia, where Oman can be used to cross, Masisi is looking the same for Zim. It's just that in Zim the feelings that the numbers may be overwhelming. So I don't want to look at the laws as being unfair or discriminatory. I think everything should be taken on a case-by-case basis. We've been able to successfully appeal people's permits which have been rejected unfairly as a law firm, and also myself have assisted people to get their permits. There's always a way of getting through that system, but every country cannot have pure open borders.
Indeed, you can't to avoid unnecessary movements.
We can't until
destruction.
Yes, until we sort ourselves out and become one economic entity. We can't just have open borders at this stage. But we're in the process of integrating our economies, and I believe that there's a plan that the African Union has through AFCTA that eventually will be a common economic union. So we're heading that slowly and gradually. So that's as far as I can answer your questions, Mr.
Yes.
I hope I've answered to your satisfaction.
Yeah, but one last question.
No, there's no time.
Okay.
We'll discuss off record.
Okay.
Look at that camera and speak to that viewer there and leave them with something motivational, something uplifting.
What I want to say today on this Thursday afternoon is that it's always been my motto to tell you that, dear viewers, never ever give up. Never ever go out of your way or your thinkings or thoughts, your dreams, because there is someone or there is something which is hindering you to avoid you. Always what I believe, you are a leader. You are leading your life. You need your life to be good. There is no one who doesn't need something good in life. So if you want to be good, forget about nitty-gritties. Forget about people who always tell you that you are like this, you are like this. Think about the goodness whom you are, and think about the people who says, never ever give up. Viva never give up. Thank you, Miss Mobi.
You're welcome. But before we part,
Yeah.
just share with the viewer where they can reach you, your contacts on social media and everywhere else.
My number, dear viewers, is 71-390-327, Abraham Chisoro. My email address is abrahamchisoro@gmail.com. And in Botswana, to be easily referenced, is plot number 54367, the CBD. Mr. Mogobe's number, you know it. He's the guy who's doing this program. When you want to know about me, much about me, as a product of me, as a product of Mogobe Inc., you always acknowledge, though he's my brother, he's my boss, he's everything to me. He's going to tell you, whom am I? Thank you so much. Have a lovely, lovely end of the week. And we hope to see you next time we meet each other.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and the book is available from Exclusive Books. Thank you. That was a powerful conversation.